So one of our next programming constructs that we need to work with is called iteration. Now, think about it. When you're in a lesson and the teacher goes, let me reiterate that, they are doing a repeat. Now, there are 3 types of repeat that you will see. One of them is a for, all right? The other is a while. Helps if I spell while, correct? And the other is repeat until. All right, let me just explain how a for loop works to begin with. All right, now what you do, a for loop is what we call a count controlled or a definite loop. So we're going to go for a for loop first, and it basically is called a definite loop. All right, what I mean by definite is we know how many times we're going to repeat. So if I want something to repeat 10 times, what I do is I start my loop and I say for. All right. Now in Python you'd go for I in range and you'd put how many repetitions down. Okay. But in Pseudo you set your start at number to your end number. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to repeat something 10 times. So I'm going to go for A. Okay. Is 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now what that will do is I'm going to say output the value of A, and we're going to do end for. Now what that will do, all right, is that will output, our output will be equal to 1, because we start at 1, then we go around again. For loops increase the value of this automatically. Alright, so we go around again. So the value of A next time around is going to be
2.
Good. The value of A the next time, so going back around again.
3.
Alright, but it's done it that many times and then that loop's finished. Now what some of you didn't think about when we were looking through your work previously is that you can use this, all right? Or you might not want to use it at all. I'm going to do a simple multiplication program now, all right? So watch what I do. So I'm going to do a 2 times table, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's set up a variable here called multiply. I'm going to allocate it the number 2. Can you see where this is going? We're going to do our 2 times table. But watch. 4. Alright. We're going to say A is 1 to 12. Alright. What we're going to do is I'm going to have total is equal to A times multiply. Many of you forgot when we were doing this task before that you can actually use the variables you've created. Multiply is now a variable. A is now a variable. So the first time around, what is the value of A?
1.
Alright? Then it goes up to 2. Then it goes up to 3. Then it goes up to 4. But I'm not finished with this yet. I'm going to output our total and then end for. Alright, so I've got A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What's the value of total going to be? 1 times 2 times. See how you can use those values? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So can you see how that's worked? So don't forget, so every time you repeat for a for loop, the value that you've used here will go up by 1. That's why it is called a definite loop, because you know where your start is and you know where your finish is. I'm hoping that's helped. Now it is possible, all right, to do a loop where you go up in 2s as well. So I might want to miss out some of these numbers. Watch what you can do. You can do for a is equal to 1 to 5, and I can step up by 2. Output A, right, end for, and what's going to happen here is it will go 1, up by 2, what number have we got? 3, up by 2, yeah. So by putting the step in, you can go up by 1 to 3 to 5. Alright? So by putting a step in.
Is that like on the AQA guide?
Yes. Alright? The next thing I'm going to say is you can even allocate A, you could go backwards. So I could say I could start at 10 to 1 and count backwards. But all I would do is do step is minus 1. So that would do a countdown from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright? So that's how we do our for loops. Do we have any questions on for loops before I do a while loop video? Yes?
If you do, what do you call it? You know you don't need to like, the adds 1 every time you do a for loop. If you do like, for A is less, equals 1 to 12, but you do like, after that, A plus 1, would that give you 2 instead of 1?
Oh, yes. If you added 1 to the value of A, that would happen, but you don't need to because you can do it with your steps. So just remember in pseudocode, if you've got a step, you don't need to add 1 to A. You don't need to do it 1 to A down here because you could do it with the step. Alright? Yes?
Is that in Python? Step?
In Python, it would be, we'll do a separate lesson on that, alright? Because you can do I in range and do your start number, your end number, and your step. Yeah? So you can have 3 parameters in Python, but we'll do that in a separate video, okay? Yes?
What needs to be capital when you're writing pseudocode?
It's on the pseudocode guide, if you have a look at that, alright?